Hey, what's going on, everybody? See what we got going on here. Not sure how this all works still. All right, guys. Hey, this is Monday Night Live with Coach Bronson, and we are going to talk today about 5 things. There may be 6 because I may have a bonus thing in there for you. Hey, Mom, how's it going? Mom's in the house. I may have a 6th thing here for you that we're going to talk about, but we're going to start off with 5 things that you should probably stop worrying about when it comes to your fitness program and improving your health and quality of life. Okay. I see very often people go into looking for solutions, looking for hacks, looking for ways to do this better or that better. And we often miss the basics. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about sticking with the basics and what that's all about and some things to avoid because you probably don't need them. Okay. Uh, question that I get very often is what tool, what product, or how important is it to track my heart rate variability, HRV? It's a newer concept. Over the past few years, there's been a lot of technology that's been developed around tracking HRV and HRV becoming a marker or a metric to track your recovery and how well you're recovering from activity. Okay, basically, heart rate variability is without getting too in depth into it, it's basically your heartbeat and the variation of your heartbeat and how your body responds to managing your heartbeat through periods of rest and through periods of exercise. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into that, but essentially there's a certain amount of space in between each beat that is managed and maintained by the system of our body, the autonomic nervous system. And when we are recovered, it is more well managed. We have a more stable and a better heart rate. Okay, so the way that our heart rate changes based on our stress level, based on inflammation, based on how recovered we are, based on the things that our body's doing, can indicate whether we are in a state where we can perform well or if we should maybe rest and do something different. Okay, so here's a couple things about heart rate variability. Okay. The technology is new. It's only been out for a few years. The science, I think, is sound to a point. And here's what I mean by that. The idea that just your heart rate is going to tell you if you are at a place of recovery is very myopic in its view of the holistic system that is your body and your environment and your lifestyle. Okay. There's a lot of things that go into your ability to perform, including what you've been doing in the past, right? So if I'm lifting weights, then I may not be recovered for another session of lifting weights, but I may be recovered for doing some cardio or mobility or some other type of work or a different form of lifting weights. Maybe I squatted on Monday and I'm not recovered from squatting, but I can do bench press or I can do push-ups on Tuesday. Okay. So it does play a role. There is a place that it can fit. Okay. What I don't want you to do, and here's why I say you shouldn't worry about HRV, okay, is because it doesn't give you the whole picture. Okay. Very much like looking at your weight doesn't give you the whole picture about your overall health, your overall metabolic efficiency. Your weight is just a number that says your body weighs a certain amount of pounds. Okay. It doesn't tell you what your composition is, what your lean mass, what your body fat, what your visceral fat percentage, what your BMR. It doesn't give you enough data to actually make decisions about what you need to do to improve whatever it's saying you need to improve. It's just a number. There is nothing applicable to all of the things involved in your fitness and your ability to perform. Okay. What that means is if you're worried about HRV and if you're doing things based on your HRV, is a very good likelihood that you are missing out or doing things that you don't need to do because you shouldn't be worried about it in the first place. Okay. We'll talk about how to handle if you're doing these things, what happens if you take them out of your brain pattern. Okay. If you take that stress and take the complexity of HRV out of your routine, what do you do from there? All right. So, uh, tips on how to understand and figure out where your recovery is without using HRV. Now, let's say you want to use HRV. Maybe you use that, continue to use that as a marker. Okay, so your HRV is something that you have in your toolbox. That's great. If you are also tracking the performance of your workouts, okay, I hope everybody is writing down what they're doing for workouts, writing down the weight, writing down the reps that they're doing, writing down how fast they finish a workout. Have some way to track your performance, because another way to track your recovery, to track if you're overtraining, to track if it's time to take a rest, is to look at your trend of performance. How often are you working out? How well are you performing? Are you performing worse over time? Are you having to use less weights because you're more fatigued because you haven't given yourself enough rest? Okay. So understanding how that kind of stuff is a really big piece to the whole puzzle. Okay. So don't get stuck just on that HRV. How are you performing? How are you feeling is another aspect of what you should be looking at. Do you feel like you got run over by a truck every day? Then you probably need to do something and take a break. Okay. Change it up. Do something different than you've been doing. Go do some mobility. Go for a jog. Go for a walk instead of doing whatever it is you've been doing. Give yourself a chance, your body a chance to rest and recover. Okay. Um, those are some things to think about. Being able to understand what your body is doing and track your trend of performance with how you feel is going to be a much better long-term solution for you to know where your recovery needs to be than just looking at your HRV. Okay. So that's number one. All right. HRV, you don't need to stress over your HRV, guys. You really don't. Okay. Um, Another thing, talking about heart rate, we're on a heart rate roll. Okay, something that there's lots and lots and lots of money being made by people trying to advance the idea that we need to work in heart rate zones. Okay, heart rate zone, work in that red zone, work in that orange zone, the right the whatever the zone is that's going to burn the most fat. Okay. Um, there's a bunch of problems with that. One, everybody's different. Okay. Everybody needs to do different levels of work to get into different zones. But here's the biggest problem with it. If you're focusing on getting in zones to burn fat, then you are not focusing on improving your fitness. You're not focusing on improving your quality of life. You're not focusing on improving your ability to move your body, to reduce injury, reduce risk injury, and all the things that we talk about when we talk about what fitness is. Okay. It is a focus on fat loss for exercise. That is the antithesis of why we exercise. We do not exercise to burn fat. We exercise to improve the function of our body. Heart rate zone training is the opposite, literally the opposite of what you want to be doing to improve your quality of life. Okay. The zone that you are working in means absolutely nothing, because here's the deal, guys. Our body can do things differently in every zone that exists. There's training that you need to do where your body is at the lowest zone at all. If you are just working on range of motion and stretching and mobility and flexibility, working on maybe balance, working on coordination, moving your body the way it needs to move, you're going to be in a very low heart rate zone. You're not technically burning fat, but you are improving your body's ability to function. So therefore, you are becoming more healthy. You are improving your fitness. That's what we're looking for. Okay. You could be at a medium heart rate zone, right? Um, and where you're not burning fat, maybe you're burning sugar. Okay. Nothing wrong with that, right? We could all stand to burn more sugar out of our bloodstream, right? We'll burn some more sugar out of our body, right? Uh, but we're building strength during that workout, right? If you build strength, everything else gets better. So then we get into a fat burning zone. We're maybe doing cardio, we're working on stamina, endurance, or something else like that. It's another aspect of fitness. So I'm not saying you don't need to be in a fat burning zone, but the zone that you're in that is called fat burning isn't there because you want to burn fat. It's there because you want to build endurance. It's there because you want to build stamina. It's there because you want your body to be able to do work for longer periods of time. Okay. Has nothing to do with the fat burn. And that's why I have a problem. And I don't want any of you to fall into the trap of trying to work in zones. It's another reason why, heart rate monitors and trying to track the calories you burn every day and all the kind of stuff, it kind of falls into the same thing. None of that stuff matters because it's not about the burn of what you're doing when you work. It's about the ability to improve what your body can do when you do the work. Okay. So that's the second thing. HRV, don't need to worry about it. Heart rate training zones, definitely don't need to worry about them. Okay. Third thing, I get this a lot, particularly in our space, right? The keto carnivore community. People are doing intermittent fasting. People are doing OMAD and all these things, and they're trying to start doing some exercise. And they're like, oh, I want to do fasted workouts. Fasted workouts are a great way to what? Increase my fat burn. Okay, you know where this is going, guys. If your focus is on increasing your fat burn, then you're going to do things that you don't need to do because you're going to be focused on the wrong thing. All right. Here's the deal with fasted workouts. It doesn't matter. The more important aspect of your ability to work out is schedule and enjoyment and results. Okay. Find something that you enjoy doing. Find something that fits into your schedule in your lifetime that you can do consistently, and then find something that's going to actually give you the desired results of function, not fat loss, that you want your body to have. Is it helping me get stronger? Is it helping me feel less pain? Is it helping me deal with maybe injuries that I've had? Is it helping me have more energy? Do I feel better after my workouts? Okay. Those are the things that you need to be working about with your workout, not am I fasted or not? Okay. There's a bunch of data out there either way. Okay. Some people look at the data and say fasted workouts are great for X, Y, or Z. Other people look at it and say it's great for X, Y, or Z. I tell you what, try it. If you feel like it's something you want to do, then go for it, but don't stress over it. For me personally, there are some times I work out fasted. There are some times that I don't work out fasted. It's more about my schedule. If I've eaten, if I haven't eaten, when can I work out? When can I not work out? Whatever works best for me and where I'm at right now is the focus. The more important aspect is, did you work out? That's what matters. Whether it's fasted or not really doesn't matter at all. Okay. For anybody who is watching this, who is just trying to improve their quality of life, whether you're fasted or not in your workouts is a minute enough detail that you do not need to worry about it. Okay. We're not at a point in our journey where making those miniature, tiny little tweaks to what we're doing in a routine is going to make any difference at all. Okay. Don't need to worry about it. All right. So that's the third thing, fasted workouts. Don't worry about them, guys. You do not need to worry about them. Eat or don't eat. To eat or to eat or not eat is the question, right? However you want to go is the way to go. Okay. Um, Protein. What do we got here? Protein timing. Okay. This goes along with the fasted workouts. It's kind of a subset, I guess you could say. You got to have protein before you lift because you need that to lift. You got to have protein after you lift because you need it to repair after you've lifted or done exercise, whatever it may be. All right. It's not good to do OMAD because you have to have protein throughout the day so that your body can process it and always have something available. Get your protein in throughout the day, however you want to get it in. That's it, guys, period. That's it. It does not matter for us because we are not, okay, we are not high-level athletes. We are not trying to perform in a sport. We are not trying to perform at anything that other than what we need to do to enjoy our lives day to day. What, again, same with the fasting. Whatever works best for your schedule, whatever you can sustain, whatever is going to keep you going is where your focus should be. So worrying about and stressing about, oh, I got to make sure I have this within 30 minutes of my workout, or I got to do this and have this shake or whatever before an hour before my workout so that I have it in my system and digested, to do this exercise. Whatever works for you guys. Okay. Don't stress over it. You can do whatever you want to do. If you want to worry about it, if you want to have something before, if you want to have something after, that's fine. Okay. It does not matter. It will not make a difference in your progress. What will make a difference in your progress is if you don't get enough protein. That's the kicker. If you're not getting enough, then that's a whole different discussion we can talk about. But you need to make sure you get enough, and it does not matter when you get it. If you're OMAD, you're perfectly fine. If you eat 3 meals a day, you're perfectly fine. Just get it in, okay? That's the fourth thing. All right, the fifth thing, the last thing, oh gosh, this is a good one. Okay, all right, guys, here we go. One of the things that really drives me crazy is the whole culture of pre-workouts. Okay. It's a big business, millions of dollars sold in pre-workouts. Okay. Getting people energy so that they can crush their exercise and crush their workout. Right. Um, Here's the deal, guys. If you're on a keto carnivore journey, one of the goals, I would assume, I'm going to make a huge assumption here and say that one of the goals of your journey is to get your body to burn fat better. If that's the case, then why are we taking pre-workouts to provide energy for a workout? You have the energy in your body already. If you take a pre-workout, you are bypassing that process and turning off your body's ability to improve its performance and improve its ability to utilize the fuel that it has already, so that your workouts can then have the energy and you can have the fuel that you need to do a good workout. Okay. If you are taking pre-workouts, I'm recommending that you stop taking pre-workouts. You are blocking that's a big piece. Here's the deal, guys. I like to talk about 2 levels of adaptation. Okay. There's a day-to-day level of adaptation for keto, to get into ketosis, to maintain a fat burn. Okay. That takes for people, that takes for people anywhere from 3 days to 10 days on average. And everybody's a little different. Okay. For physical exercise, think about this. Okay. The level of activity for day-to-day adaptation is lower than the level of activity for exercise and fitness. Okay. So if you're doing exercise and fitness, the demand for fuel is higher. It needs it more. It needs it faster. That adaptation is going to take longer. It's going to take longer. Okay. Joe Ray, I see your question about Zip Fizz, and we'll talk about that in a second. Because what we'll talk about is we're going to define what I mean by pre-workout. So the adaptation from a keto carnivore perspective for athletic endeavors can take anywhere from 10 days, right, to see some basic improvement. For most people that I've worked with, most of my clients and myself in particular, it's usually in the weeks. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6. It took me about 10 weeks, 8 to 10. For some things, it was 12. So 8 to 12 weeks is where I started seeing things improve, where my workouts were better. I started feeling stronger. I started having more energy. I started being able to move faster. I started to recover better. Okay. All of those things can't happen if you are substituting energy for your workouts. Okay. Stop the pre-workouts. Please stop the pre-workouts. Okay. All right. So Joe Ray is asking what I consider Zip Fizz a pre-workout. Anything that has caffeine, I would consider pre-workout. Anything that has something that's supposed to boost your metabolism and give you energy. So caffeine, guarine, there's a lot of common components that are in all these things. Bangs, Zip Fizz, and other, Monster energy drinks, things like that. B12 shots, right? Those energy things, like there's no need for that, guys. There's no need for any of that stuff. Ketones, don't need it. MCT oil before a workout, don't need it. Okay. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter what the source is. It is extra energy that you're putting in your mouth that's not letting your body use what it has access to already. Okay. So that's really what it is, guys. It doesn't matter the source. Pre-workout is anything that you may take to try to give you extra energy to do a workout. You don't need it. Okay. All right. So those are 5 things, guys. That was it. Nice and quick. Okay. But guess what? We're going to add a 6th one, and we're going to add it to, it's going to go appended to the protein timing. We talk about timing your protein. We're going to dig a little deeper, and I'm going to explain the whole 30 grams per meal of protein and why you can throw it out the door. Okay. There's a commonly held thought, because there was some studies that were done a long time ago that basically said it takes 30 grams of protein to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. Okay. So if I eat 30 grams of protein, my muscles will start to grow. Yay. Okay. Somehow, somewhere along the way, okay, let's say commercially, right? Have you guys ever noticed that most shake products are between 25 and 30 grams per serving of protein? Have you ever made that connection? Okay, think about that. So not only is that science there that says we only need 30 grams to stimulate muscle production, but now there's products out there that say, hey, just take this shake and you will stimulate muscle production. Okay, that's where the whole shake industry is really based on. Okay, something to think about. All right. Here's the deal. Here's what that's missing. Okay. Number one, that's just the start of the process. Okay. The studies and all the data talk about 30 grams of protein on average is what it takes to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. That just means the process starts. There is no data, there is nothing out there that says how much is needed in the human body to maintain and actually build muscle once it's been stimulated. Okay, think about that. 30 grams gets it started. Okay, now what? So I get it started, but now I used up all that I had. So now how am I going to actually build anything on top of that? Okay, so 30 grams is the minimum that you should have per meal if you're trying to grow muscle. Think about that. Okay, minimum, not the maximum. If you're trying to grow muscle, you should probably have at least 30 grams of protein per meal. Let that sink in. That is the minimum, not the maximum. Okay. Second thing to think about that, and that ties into that, is what is it's used for, right? It's used for building things. So when we talk about what happens after it's stimulated, it's not just muscle protein synthesis, right? It's growing hair, it's growing nails, it's maintaining our skin, it's managing hormones, it's doing all sorts of other things in our body because protein is the building block of life. And if all we were thinking about was building muscle and we only ate enough protein to stimulate muscle growth, what happens to all of the other pieces of our metabolism that need protein? Okay. We need more, right? So, mom, I'm not saying that 30 grams is useless. Okay. What I'm saying is, I'm just making a point that it's the flip side of what many people think is that 30 grams is the most you should have in a meal. It's really not. Okay. It still goes to say what I talked about before. As long as you're getting your daily intake of protein in per day, then you're fine. When you get it and how many sizes, how much you get it in how many packages in a day you get it, then you're perfectly fine. If your goal is I want to get 150 grams of protein a day and you do it in three meals of 50 or 10 meals of 15, you're still going to be fine. Okay. So don't worry about that. I'm just trying to make a point about the focus of where our protein should be. It's not a minimum. It's not a maximum. It's a minimum. Okay. So I hope that clears up, guys. Any questions about protein and the 30 gram thing? Eat all the protein that you want to eat. There is no maximum per meal of protein that you can eat. None. Eat it all. Have a blast with it. Okay. All right. Let's look, see if we got any questions here. I got to go back through the scroll here. It's hard to scroll to watch the comments and talk at the same time. All right. Let's see. We got Claire saying hi. Radical Geek saying hi. Joe Ray saying hi. Susan, Kim, Anat, Anahi, Jen. Let's see. Teresa's in here. Yep, your HRV numbers change when you get sick. Absolutely. So I mean, that's a good indicator of when you're sick. Your inflammation goes up, your heart rate changes. Another good indicator of some sort of injury or stress or need to recover is if you get an in-body scan. Some of the commercial versions have a hydration level that they can look at. So if you have if you get a scan or a DEXA, I'm not sure if a DEXA has hydration, but there's some scans that can tell you how hydrated you are. And even if you feel like you've been drinking water, but it comes back and says there's something off there because it's cellular hydration, not just how much water do you have in your body. It looks at the cells, and if they're stressed, they're going to have less water. And that can tell you too. That's a really cool little thing to have. What's a good exercise for strengthening the heart muscle? Hey Sheila, heart attacks. There's a lot of stuff that can go into that. I don't know if I can answer that question directly, not since I'm not a medical professional. But I would say obviously there's things that you can do to work on your heart's ability to do things. There's things called it's cardiac endurance, cardiac stamina, cardiac output. There are different types of exercises you can do that make your heart work in different ways. So the best thing to do is, under the guidance of a medical professional, find a program that's going to allow him to ease into something where he can work on improving his general ability to do work. Okay. Moving some weight, moving his body, find something that's accessible and makes sense for where he's at right now. And then obviously the nutrition is another big piece of it, right? So there's a lot of pieces that go into that. But I definitely would say, talk to you, like my mom said, talk to a cardiologist, get some direction. But there's definitely things you could do, but in that situation, that's not something that I would recommend anything specific. I would say he needs to work with a professional, at least initially one-on-one, until he gets to a point where he's comfortable doing stuff on his own or in a different environment. Okay, let's see. Radical Geek, cycling sucks faster, but I know some guys who do it. I much prefer food. Yep. Everybody's different. It's preference and whatever you feel more comfortable with doing, not something to stress over. Because whether you do it or not is not going to improve or detract from whatever your progress is. Teresa usually is fasted, but she eats soon after. That's cool. Let's see. Oh, I scooted down too far. Let's see. Anahi, I needed to hear this. I'm hooked on energy drinks. Oh no, not the energy drinks. Yep, no more energy drinks. Guys, if you need energy, here's a little hack. Okay, I'll give you this hack. If you need energy for a workout, instead of taking a substitute energy product, okay, drink electrolytes before and during your workout. Get some element, get some Relight, put some salt in some water, okay? Electrolytes will help your body access the energy that you have stored better. So drinking the electrolytes before a workout should have a similar effect on your ability to have energy in that workout as if you took a pre-workout. Okay, something to think about. If you're not taking electrolytes before, if you're not drinking electrolytes during your exercise, you're missing out on some good stuff right there. Okay, keep that in mind. Coffee in the morning. All right, Kim. So in case you guys don't know, I stopped drinking coffee this week. No, last week actually. So I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'm almost at a whole week of no coffee. The first 2 days, I had a crazy headache. It was horrible. Like I've stopped drinking coffee in the past, and it's never been this bad. Like it was bad. I did not realize how much my body was kind of depending on that caffeine. So I've been getting up in the morning, and instead of coffee, I've just been making a shake. And and having a shake in the morning just to replace the habit with something different. But I've been sleeping better. I've been feeling better throughout the day. It has definitely been a positive so far. Let's see. Claire, have you used your pull-up bar yet? Let's see here. I installed a pull-up bar for my mom yesterday. Square one and work on active shoulders. Yep, she's working on her active shoulders. Keep her shoulders tight. So Joy, no black coffee in the morning before a workout. I can put it off, but not give it up. That's totally up to you. If you're gonna have it anyway, you got to make that decision, Joy. Try it, see what happens. If you feel like it, coffee is one of those things, guys. Yes, it's a stimulant. I totally get that it's something about it. It's addictive. It's a thing. A lot of people don't want to give it up. I'll just say again, I've tried. I'm, going through the process of giving it up right now. I don't know if it will last forever, but I know I feel good without it. And it's only been like 5 days. So just something to think about. Okay. Do you have a recommendation for cool downs if you don't have a foam roller? Any kind of stretching. So Jen, in the program, I believe, I can double check, but in the program, I believe there's a bunch of stretching and some foam roller stuff. If you don't have a foam roller, just do the stretching stuff. You don't need the foam roller for the cool downs. Okay. So there's stretching in there. If you have any questions, there's a section on my YouTube channel called Mobility, which I'm adding more videos to that are all different stretches and things that you can do. But in the program, I believe I put some cool down stretches that you can do that don't require a foam roller. If that's not the case, then shoot me a message in the app or something, and I will remedy that situation. Okay. Let's see. Joy, element during a workout. Yep, I think Relight during the workout. Good. Just bought some Relight. Good. Radical Geek, I'm assuming you're saying, are you okay, in response to me stopping the coffee, right? Joy, hey, taking a week of PTO before giving up the coffee, I can totally see that happening. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys being on. And if there's any other questions real quick, I'll stay on for a second, but this has been awesome. And again, every Wednesday, I used to do it in Facebook on Wednesdays. Every Monday, this time I'll be on here. So please tell all your friends. I'm trying to grow this channel. I love having you guys on here. And if you're going to Vegas, I will be in Vegas this weekend. If not, then I'll see you when I get back. All right. Take it easy. See you guys.